Hey! Hey friends! How are you? Happy almost 2021! Oh my gosh, you guys, my coffee is so full, and this is my first sip of coffee all day. Good morning. Hey guys, I have a new setup. I feel like I say that every time I do a live, but I have been on the quest to find a setup that works and makes these lives so easy, and I think I found it. So let me know how it looks, how it sounds. It's a little darker than I was hoping it would be, so I just have to figure out lighting, but I think we've made it. If you do lives at all for your business or for your job, I will tell you my secret is that Canon, I use a Canon 80D. It's an EOS 80D camera, and Canon exactly 1 month ago released software that allows you to just plug in a USB cable and start streaming. Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I can get, no, okay. Sometimes I have trouble seeing your comments. I can see your comments right now, but I have to scroll to see them. Okay, so this live is gonna be a little different than what we've done in the past. I want this to feel super engaged. I want you to feel like we're sitting across from each other and we're just working on our planners together. I'm going to show you some example pages, but we're going to spend most of our time working through the simplified prep work in the very beginning of your signature simplified planner. So if you have yours, tell me which one you're using. I want to know if you chose a daily or a weekly. I will tell you, I got a text from Hannah this morning that says we have very few dailies left and they may actually sell out within the next couple of days. Once we run out of simplified planners, we don't restock because we work 9 million years in advance, and basically we wouldn't have enough time to put them back into production. So make sure if you don't have yours yet that you go ahead and snatch yours from our website. We have dailies, we have weeklies. The dailies are going to be the first to sell out, but you can go and see which cover options we have available. Okay. All right, I saw a question about the camera. After this is over, I will put a link in the comments here to all the camera equipment that I use. I'm happy to share because it has taken me years to figure out a good setup. So I'm happy to share the links to all those things. And I'll go ahead and put those in the comments later today. All right. First and foremost, let me tell you, I am using Blue Trellis. I use Blue Trellis, so I switch planners every 6 months, perks of the job. And I used Blue Trellis all of last fall, but I want to continue using Blue Trellis for January. So that is the one that I will be using. This particular planner already has some example pages that I'm going to show you in case you need a little inspiration. Okay, also, if you have any questions today, please feel free to put them in the comments. And Hannah is going to gather questions for me and then text them to me at the end. Y'all, that coffee is good. Okay. Any sales going on for planners? Nope, we don't have any sales going on for planners now or in the foreseeable future. Okay, first and foremost, if you don't have a perpetual calendar, you can get one of these on our free printable library over at emilylay.com. This perpetual calendar is super, super, super simple. What it is it's got the name of each month, and then a little line followed by a longer line. And what you do is you take your perpetual calendar and you write in any dates that don't ever change. So like someone's birthday or anniversary or, I don't know, another important day. You would write those on your perpetual calendar, and then this is something that you just fold up and slip inside the front pocket of your simplified planner, and then year to year, you have it with you, and as you're setting up your planner, you know exactly what important dates you want to put on your monthly pages, daily or weekly pages, so that you don't forget them. It's really important, I think, to spend a good amount of time with something like this. I have one of these. I don't actually keep it in my planner. I keep it in a file drawer on my desk. When we moved from Tampa to Pensacola, I reached out to a bunch of good friends and asked them their birthdays, their anniversaries, and their kids' birthdays. And so I have all of that on my perpetual calendar so that I can put it in my planner and not forget those dates. And that actually brings me to something that I wanted to talk about before we get into the nuts and bolts of setting up your Simplified Planner. 2020 has been a bear. Can we all just take a breath? It's been a bear. It's been a bear for everyone. First and foremost, if you are an essential worker or one of the heroes that have helped our country through this pandemic, I just want to say thank you. And also thank you to all of the supportive roles in that as well, the wives and husbands of people who are doctors and nurses and really working on the front lines. Moving into 2021, I think it's really natural to think that the end is near, the end of all the hard stuff is near, and that January 1st will bring like this wave of safety and public health and newness. And we all kind of know that's not going to happen, right? That there are good things happening and we're on the right path, but to set our hopes on January 1 fixing everything is probably a little short-sighted. So I have never been one for goal setting in the traditional sense. I don't set dollar goals for anything. I also don't set number on the scale goals. I don't really like goals that are associated with numbers, and that's just part of who I am. I prefer to think about things more in the qualitative sense than in the quantitative sense. And what that means is when I think about goals or resolutions for the new year, realistically, I think about the kind of woman I want to become. And in 2021, that is going to be my word. It's becoming. I think that I am on the cusp of some new things professionally, and I'm on the cusp of some new things as a mother. My kids are not in diapers anymore. They're kind of self-sufficient in many ways, and we're really starting to enter a season that's really, really fun. And it's a lot more about thriving than it was surviving. And I felt like I was surviving for many years. So if you're in the trenches with new babies, I feel you. Just know that a new season will come. And so when I look at 2021, I think about some new things I'm starting. I've let the cat out of the bag. I'm starting a podcast for Simplified. I have a couple of books I'll be writing, just some really exciting things. And I think about the type of woman I want to be. I want to be a woman that is healthy, that is her very best inside and out for her people, for her team, for her husband, for her kids, for her family, for her friends. I want to be the kind of woman that can go to a coffee when it's safe, that can go to lunch with a friend. I've always been the person that's been just very busy, too busy for those kinds of things. And if any of my real life friends from Physical are on here, you know what I mean. I don't do lunches or anything like that very often because I'm just so busy. And I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be the kind of woman that has time for that makes time for herself, that makes time for her friends. And so that is what I think of when I think about setting up my Simplified Planner. I don't necessarily think, I want to reach this number on the scale, or I want to achieve X, Y, and Z at work. I think, what kind of woman do I want to be? I want to be the kind of mom that has the bandwidth to play Monopoly Junior 900 times. My kids got that game for Christmas, and they won't let me off the hook. I've played Monopoly Junior and lost 900 times since Christmas. So I want to be that kind of person. And as I'm setting up my Simplified Planner and working through the prep work, that is the goal I have in mind. So I want to challenge you to maybe not set your sights on goals that are super quantitative, especially given the state of our world right now. Maybe just set your sights on what you want to feel like next year, or what type of person you want to be. And then I think you might find that a certain word will bubble to the top. And for me, that was words like becoming, evolving, growth. I'm knocking on 40's door. I'm turning 38 in February. And so those kinds of words are the words that bubble to the top for me. So as we work through this stuff today, I want you to just keep your ears open and think, like, as you're writing, as you're working on this stuff, maybe there's something that bubbles to the top that you want to grasp onto. Because that has been really encouraging for me to have that kind of thing to set my sights on. So, all right, I hope that's encouraging. There's so many fun things coming. I started a book club. That's another fun thing. So I've always wanted to start a book club. I've never had time. Since I'm the kind of woman this year that has time for these things, I am starting a book club. It'll be happening over on Instagram. There's no like special Instagram to follow or club to join or group to find. It's just gonna be, I'm just gonna be sharing things, having discussions with you on Instagram, and every month of 2021 we will be reading a book together, a nonfiction book that is centered around a certain virtue of strength that I am sort of focusing on for myself. So we're starting with January with the book Body Love by Kelly LeVeque, and it was recommended to me by many people. I'll be reading these books with you. I have not, I've done research on these books, but I have not read them already. I'll be reading them with you, and then I'll be posting pretty regularly, I'm hoping, Instagram TVs, IGTVs, about the book and just kind of discussions about them as we go. Spoiler alert, February's book is about bravery, and it is Growing Boldly, my, over here, new book that comes out February 9th. Okay, ready, you guys? Get your planners out. I'm going to take another sip of coffee, and as I do that, I want to know what your word is, if you have a word already. Okay. Oh, someone just said, yeah, the book was forwarded by Jessica Alba. Yes, Jessica Alba wrote the foreword, and I'm waiting on my copy to get here, and I'm so excited. And yes, I know what books we're reading every month already. I've planned them out, but I'm going to hold the suspense, and then I'll announce them each month as we go and give you plenty of time to get your copy. Okay, your words, I love them. Clarity, present, gratitude, breakthrough. I like that. Health and growth, momentum, delight. I love that, delight. My word is intentional. I love these words, and I love that we're finding this kind of hope in the middle of such a weird time, right? Okay, here we go. Inside your Simplified Planner, let's pretend like you have your Perpetual Calendar and you have it filled out. I am not going to necessarily be filling out my planner today in terms of like putting all the dates on the pages, but I will walk you through exactly how to do that, or what I recommend doing, what I do after we go through the prep work. But just know, when you sit down to fill in all your dates, make sure that you filled out a Perpetual Calendar. I promise you it will make your life easier, and it will also make you feel like a better friend. And I want to be the kind of person that sends birthday cards to her friends' kids. And when we moved, I started, I gathered all the things, and I started putting reminders into myself of like, hey, so-and-so's birthday's coming up, get a birthday card. I do it once a month. I'll get the birthday cards, write the notes, and send them out. So anyway, those are the kind of tactical things that you can do to really use your planner in a way that's going to give you a fresh start and help you become that person you want to become. All right, flipping through your planner, you'll see on the first page there is a note from me, just a little bit of encouragement, and then we talk through the process of simplifying. For any of you who have used a Simplified Planner for many years, you have probably read this page over and over, but I'm going to go over it just really quickly. Number one, let me just say, the Simplified Planner is different, and I'm probably preaching to the choir because y'all have probably used these for many years, but I just have to say, what makes this planner different is that I don't want you to just put dates on pages and then put this on a shelf and let it be pretty. I want you to use your Simplified Planner to truly give yourself a fresh start. And that means you have to do the work, not just in these pages, but in your homes, in your lives, in your brains, in your calendars, and in your junk drawers, okay? All of these things make a difference. So number one, name what matters. Often we think we can tackle everything in one day. We think that we can do it all and do it all well. We all know that that's not true, right? You can do it all, but you can't do it all well. So what I challenge you to do is name the thing that matters most as you're going into this year. That you may think that there is a definite answer for that we all have to have. Like, we all have to say, well, my family, that has to be the answer. It doesn't have to be the answer. It could be graduating graduate school this year. That is what matters most this year. For me, going into 2021, what matters most is taking care of me, taking care of my heart, of my faith, of my body, of my brain, so that I can be the very best me for my people. And that's how I will serve others well. So going into 2021, that is the most important thing for me. Number 2, eliminate distractions. So distractions are the number one reason we feel we do not have enough minutes in the day. Obviously, these are things that this process is something that you work through. You don't just do it all at once. Number 3, establish routines, traditions, and habits to create automation in your life. Automation is key. And then choose what matters. And this is the trick. Not just naming it and giving it, a name, but choosing it, actively choosing it when you have choices, when you have options. Choosing to put yourself first. Choosing to put your kids first. Choosing to put graduating first. That is the active part of this. And then on the next page, just a little bit about how to use your Simplified Planner, do your prep work, add birthdays and anniversaries, add reminders, and then make time and really get it messy. All right, then we have the calendars with just some holidays and the kind of entire year all at once. I will tell you, we have added additional holidays that will appear in our next release. Additional holidays to be more inclusive of many different faiths and cultures. And so you will see those on our next release. All right, here we are. We're at the prep work. First things first, preparing for a new year. The questions we are going to answer here, I would like for us, I saw someone ask, will there be a replay? Yes, there will be a replay. I'm going to save this to our Facebook page and also to our video library on our website. But I would like for us to answer these questions here in the comments and then write them in our pages. And so let's do it that way. We're going to answer them in the comments so that we can kind of encourage each other, share some thoughts, and then you can write them as we go. So I'm just going to read this a little bit to you. To give yourself a fresh start, take inventory of where you are and where you're going. Looking back at the last 12 months, consider what worked well in your life. What worked? Does anybody kind of laugh at that? Also, consider what did not work well. List those routine systems and commitments here. Example, waking at 7 a.m. didn't give me enough time to get ready. This year, I'll try waking at 6:30 a.m. to get a head start of the day. What didn't work well? Well, I think we can probably all think a lot of things didn't work well that probably weren't our choice, right? So let's set those things aside and think about what worked well. Yes, we'll start there with what worked well. I can tell you over the years, some of my answers to these have been things like gathering all of the kids' shoes and having them in baskets near the door. When we built our house, the house we're in now, we actually built a little cubbies for the shoe baskets to fit in because they've just become such a part of our morning routine. So having that ready. Some other things that worked well. In October, I used my Simplified Planner to map out, I was trying to see if I had an example page of this, but I don't think I do. I used my planner to map out workouts on the monthly spread. And this is an example of a monthly spread. This is not designed right here for workouts, but on the monthly spread, I wrote in advance of October, I used my color coding stickers and I wrote out the workouts I was going to do every single day. I wanted to move my body at least 30 minutes every single day for the month of October. I did not achieve it perfectly, but almost perfectly. But that really, really worked for me because then in the morning when I went to work out, I didn't have to think like, well, what do I want to do today? Well, I need to take time to find something. I do the Peloton, so I don't, do I need to take time to find something on the app? I'm not sure. Should I text a friend and see what they're doing? So I had it already mapped out. Like one day a week I was doing yoga. One day a week I was running. 2 days a week I was doing Peloton. So like having all of that mapped out really, really worked for me. And that's something I want to do in the new year is in advance of every month, sit down and map that kind of thing out. My mom will tell you that something that works really, really well for her is planning meals a month in advance. She is a rock star. She plans meals 1 month in advance. And I know a lot of you are using Home Chef. I'm such a Home Chef fan. It's like a whole Facebook Live for another story. We actually made steak quesadillas last night that were knock your socks off good. They were so delicious. But besides that, Home Chef lets you plan a month in advance. So maybe I'll start trying to do that a month in advance. We'll see. We'll see how ambitious I get. Okay, I'm going to read some of your comments. Meal planning Saturdays and Sundays and getting groceries ordered. Yeah, Elizabeth said that, and something that worked well for me that I did a couple of times was taking Friday afternoons before I picked my kids up from school to do the groceries and plan the meals for the week so that I wasn't spending all, like, my weekend hours doing it. And that, I actually really liked that. I got that idea from 100 Days of Real Food on Instagram. Either that or Bev Cooks. It was one of those two. But I thought that was a really cool routine. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh, wow. I loved that idea so much. I bought a planner for my self-care, workout, and spiritual growth. It does not sound simplified, but I feel that I need to do this. Mapping it out really helps me. Wow, that's really amazing. I always swore up and down I would not be a two-planner person until I started using one just for meal planning. And if you guys have followed along with me for any amount of time, you know that dinner time and cooking and meal planning is the hardest part of simplifying anything for me. I just don't love cooking. And I've tried really hard to change that about myself, but it's just who I am. And so Home Chef and things like that have really, really, really helped me. Okay. All right. Thanks, Hannah. I saw some of your questions come through. Okay, laundry every day. Yes and amen. Planning at least dinner. It keeps me anchored. Writing out all bills that need to be paid and subscriptions that come out of my account. That's from Kathy. So that's really a good point. I do that at the end of every year. I take an inventory of our accounts and what random subscriptions and things are coming out of them, and we end up saving a lot of money because sometimes there are things that have not been canceled that need to be. Okay. I love these. Worked well. Sticking to doing laundry on a set day every week, but it didn't pile up because we didn't want it to. Okay, yes, so it didn't pile up because we didn't want it to. Love that. So these are things that worked well. And if you need some ideas of things that you can implement in your life that are working well for others, I encourage you to come back here and read the comments. Also, A Simplified Life is a book I wrote in 2017 when my twins were 2 and Brady was 6. And it is all about simplifying 10 major key areas of life. So highly recommend if you are looking for a deeper dive into these things. Okay, what didn't work last year, or this year, since we're still in it? What didn't work? Well, I think a lot of things didn't work. But let's think of some things outside of the pandemic and really weird 2020 things that didn't work well. For me, it does not work well to sleep in, ever, unfortunately. Even on the weekends. I get grumpy because I try to sleep in, and then my kids are begging me for cinnamon rolls. So having a set time to wake up on the weekends and obviously during the week is something that I need to get better about. What are some other things that didn't work well? Eating my feelings did not work well. Anybody else eat their feelings in 2020? That didn't work well. I don't feel my best. I'm not eating my best. Sugar and carbs and yeah, it's just not been good. So that is something that didn't work well that I want to be better about in the new year. I feel my very best when I'm taking care of myself, and that goes all the way back to what kind of goals I have in the new year. Okay. Someone said watching the news. I know that we can all giggle about this, but watching the news is on my list. It was on my list at the end of last year before everything started. When I have the news on constant loop all day long, it drains me and it makes me extremely anxious. And as someone who already struggles with anxiety, having the news on constant loop is not healthy for me. I want to be informed though, and so in the beginning of 2020, I actually bought a subscription to the New York Times, the digital subscription. And from what I understand, you don't have to buy the subscription to do this, but they have daily emails that they send out around 4 or 5 a.m. every day. And every morning, I take a bath every morning. It's just how I wake myself up. And so every morning in the bathtub, I will read the daily email from the New York Times, and it gives me just bullet-pointed information. It's a quick, it's digestible. If I want more information on a certain topic, I can click through and read a more in-depth article, but having one place that I relied on for news was really helpful. Okay, Unrealistic Expectations. not getting in bed at a decent time. I totally agree. I focused a little bit on my sleep habits and around the middle of the year when I started to notice that the year was just getting the best of me, and realized that my body sometimes just needs a lot of sleep, and so going to bed early is a good idea sometimes. Didn't work well, feeling guilty for being overwhelmed. Too many treat days. Amen to that. Okay. Awesome. Yes, NPR's Upfront podcast is great for that too. I have heard of that, and I actually just subscribed to it and just started listening to it, and it is really, really awesome for that as well if you are a podcast person. Okay, so again, you're going to spend some time, maybe you've taken a few minutes while we've been chatting, but just jotting down like what worked, what didn't work. Acknowledging those things, picking out pain points is such a key step in simplifying your life. Picking out those points where you're like, this isn't working. For instance, I'll give you an example. We were hit by Hurricane Sally in September, and it was really bad. We live on the water, on the bay, and so we just got rocked, and our house had a lot of damage, all fixable. But one of the things that happened was we had a roof leak over our bedroom, our master bedroom, and we had a wall leak, whole other story. But we had to have a lot of work done, and we still don't have a ceiling fan in our bedroom. And I have to sleep with a ceiling fan. Maybe it's a Florida thing, maybe it's a being 38 thing, maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I have to have a ceiling fan. So I had a little battery powered fan next to the bed that would help me sleep that I used during hurricanes. And I've had it there forever. Well, batteries keep dying. So finally, I went and dug up an old fan we had that just plugs into the wall, okay? And now my fan battery doesn't die. It sounds so elementary and stupid and simple, but those are the kind of like nitty-gritty pain points that when we alleviate them one by one, those kinds of things add up to a lot. So now I don't have to worry about my batteries dying all the time. I'm spending a lot less money on batteries. We still don't have a ceiling fan because that's a whole other story. We still have a ton of work to do in our house, but I now have a fan that plugs into the wall and helps me sleep better. So identifying those kinds of things, even if they feel really insignificant, they matter. All right, today is a new beginning for you. Taking into account what worked and what didn't work, what systems or routines would help your life run more smoothly over the next 12 months? How can we alleviate the pain points and highlight the joyful moments? Example, throwing a load of laundry in when I wake up will help our days run more smoothly and reduce household chores on the weekends. I'm smiling at that because I remember writing and making the Simplified Prep work. And I remember writing that example from my own life because I had itty bitty babies at home. And I was doing a load of laundry every day that included burp cloths and rags and bibs. It's nonstop with babies. And so I still do that. I still throw a load of laundry, or try to throw a load of laundry in every morning. And then by the time I'm done working out or getting ready, I can put it in the dryer. It just makes life easier. So what are some of the systems, maybe some ideas that you've learned here that you can put into practice or that you would like to implement? Even if you don't know how you're going to actionably do the things, what are some things that you could write down that you would like to learn more about or you would like to implement in the new year? For example, maybe one of the things is you would like to get more nutrition in the form of vitamins or protein or collagen or those kinds of things. And maybe you don't really know how to implement that. You're not sure what a good smoothie recipe is or what vitamin company you want to go with. Just write the thing down, even if you're going to have to do some work and break it down later. Write down, maybe give yourself a task. Oh, how did I forget to say this? I always forget to say this when we're doing the setup workshop. It would be really great right now, and maybe some of you are already doing this, if you had a notepad next to you where you can write down random tasks that come to your mind. It could be like, I need to get my tires rotated, or I need to buy a fan, or whatever. Just have a list next to you, because as you work through this stuff, you may have things that come to mind that you're like, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to research a vitamin company and find something that I feel like is going to work for me. Or I need to reach out to my doctor about getting something, refilled, or asking them about what supplements I should be taking. So I think that would be super, super helpful. All right, let me read some of your comments. Help kids. Okay, Alyssa, love this. Help kids get their own breakfast. Y'all, this is why I love these kinds of Facebook Lives, because you guys inspire me and give me ideas. I did this the summer before last. My kids were, let's see, the twins were 3. 3? I think they were 3. And so Brady was 7. And we were like right on the cusp of them being more independent, but still extremely needy in a lot of areas. But I knew they were ready to learn certain things. We just hadn't taken the time to like teach them. So one of those, we had like every week of the summer, I came up with a life lesson that I wanted to work on with them. Whoa, you guys, are you still here? My camera just flashed and it made me really nervous. All right, y'all, did I just lose you? Hey, Team Simplified, can you text me if I'm lost? What just happened? Did I lose you guys? This is the fun part about being live. Okay, I think it's still working. You're here. Okay, good. That was so weird. I don't know what just happened, but my camera flashed and I get really nervous that this was lost. Okay, we're here. Yay! Thank you guys. Life lessons. So life lessons 2 summers ago. So I wrote down things that would really help our kids become more independent, like learning how to tie their shoes. We still haven't mastered that. Learning how to load the dishwasher, learning how to empty the dishwasher. We spent a whole couple of days, like a couple of minutes every day, learning how to brush your teeth well, right? Sounds ridiculous, but like it had been a while since I had sat down with them and said like, okay, let's get the toothbrush out and I'm going to demonstrate and we're going to do it together. And then let's talk about exactly how to floss your teeth. Kids have to be taught these things, right? And so I spent like a ton of time just teaching them. And one of the things was how to make their own breakfast. So I taught them how to use the toaster. I taught them how to pour cereal, how to get a step stool, go over to the refrigerator, get the milk out, open the milk, pour the milk, put the milk back, like all those steps. So that was like, those are the kind of pain points that I think are so good to address. So thank you for mentioning that. I think that's really cool. All right. My mom used to fold into a basket. I haven't gotten there yet. Okay. Talking about laundry. Yes. So one of the things we worked on with Brady was teaching him how to fold a t-shirt, how to fold laundry, all of these things. So good. Okay. So write those things down here. Even if it's going to take you a little bit of time and you want to like think through some things or do a little research, just write them down. Moving on to the next page. Creating routines for weekly tasks and chores can help alleviate the burden of accomplishing everything at once, often on the weekend. Write down 1 or 2 tasks for each day of the week. Example, laundry, grocery shopping, cleaning, plant watering, thank you note writing, bill paying, etc. And refer back often to make sure everything is tended to. So this is very, let's say, aspirational. This is something like you would like to do certain things on certain days of the week, and you're going to set a goal to actually do these things. So this is where you're going to set out your intentions for what you'll do on Mondays, what you'll do on Tuesdays, and so on. For example, on every Wednesday and every Sunday, I'm going to water the plants, or teach a kid to water the plants. Having those kinds of things set down. Every Friday, I'm going to do our grocery shopping. Maybe it's that every Monday night, we are going to order to-go food. What kind of weekly rhythms can you put together? And I would love to hear some of your ideas. Do you have things that you do on a weekly basis on certain days of the week? And maybe just share them in the comments here. I think it would be helpful to hear what other people are doing. Yes, clean. Okay, so cleaning. Like, do you have certain days of the week that you clean all the bathrooms, or certain days of the week that you do laundry if you're not doing it every day? For us, the plant watering was one that, you know, at the beginning of last year, I was like, I want to have some really pretty plants on our back porch. And in order to have that, in order to be that type of person that has plants, you have to commit to watering them. So to do that, you have to create a habit. Side note, the book Atomic Habits is not part of our book club this year, but I almost think it should be because it is such a good book. If you are interested in habits of any sort, it's really good. Dishwasher runs every night. I get up and I get ready and empty it every morning. I also do that. I run the dishwasher every night, and believe it or not, it's full every night, and empty it in the mornings. Plant watering on Sundays. Every Sunday I change the bedding in all of the rooms. It's a fresh start for the week. I agree. I love spending Sundays doing that kind of stuff, like really getting everything ready for the week. We try to cook meals with leftovers on Sunday nights to make Monday easier. Love that. Family night on Mondays. That's fun. My husband's family used to do that. They used to have a night a week that they did, like family things. I have a Roomba schedule. Oh, that's cool. We have an Oofy. You guys know about Oofy? E-U-F-Y? Oofy is kind of like a Roomba, and we love him. That's fun. Okay, checking air filters on the first of every month. I think that, I really think that I could probably set up something like this monthly. Maybe that would be a good thing to do that I've never done before as I'm setting up my planner, is to go in on the first of every month and write a couple of things that would be helpful to do, like mapping out workout routines or meals for the month, checking air filters, checking, maybe, I forget how many times a year you're supposed to do it, but going through and putting, checking your alarms, your fire alarms. That Brian does that, not me. That's why I don't know how many times a year. But go in and look at what things you could put on every month, as well as every week. Okay, we're going to move on to the next thing. Oh, there's so many good ideas here. Yeah, by the way, about Atomic Habits, I read it in October. October was a good month for me this year. But the book Atomic Habits is a fantastic book, all about creating habits of all kinds, and the science behind it is really, really cool. I really highly recommend. All right, good habits build great character. Take note of every repetitive task you complete every morning and evening and list them here. Also add tasks you'd like to incorporate into your daily routines, like taking vitamins, journaling, or emptying the dishwasher. This particular exercise, the morning routine and evening routine, if you commit to it and you actually spend time working on this, this will give you a fresh start. This will sincerely change your life. Our son, our oldest, is almost 10. And I actually, we've been, working with him on establishing a good morning routine and a good evening routine. Especially as it relates to picking up his room and just hygiene and all of that, as it is with almost preteen boys. And so I took one of those long notepads that we have, the citrus one, and I wrote morning and underlined it, and then wrote down like the 3 or 4 things that he needs to do every single morning, and then I wrote evening, and then the 3 or 4 things he needs to do every evening, and I taped it to his bathroom mirror, and it's still there, and he's not perfect at it, but he refers back to it because that will help him, and the same exercise will help us to make sure that we're actually doing the things that we want to do to be the type of people we want to be. Things like vitamins, it's all well and good if you wake up on January 1st and take your vitamins, but if you're not taking them every single day, you're not going to see the benefits. The consistency is what matters. The habit is what matters, not just do it once and check it off and move on. It's really, really the consistency. I started taking collagen last year with, it's Vital Proteins collagen, and I put it in my green smoothie that I try to do every day, and taking collagen over and over and over for months, made such a huge difference in my skin and my hair and my nails. So highly recommend if you're interested in collagen. But again, it's the consistency, the habit, the over and over repetition, the routine that really makes those things effective. And I think the routine and the habit and the ritual of even just something as simple as spending time together with someone, the consistency is where the difference is made as well, not just doing it once, right? Okay. All right, moving on. Ugh, my allergies are giving me a fit today. Okay, next page is the Simplicity Challenge. And you guys are in for a treat if you've never done the Simplicity Challenge. We are starting it on January 1st over on Simplified on Instagram, and I think they're also posted here on Facebook. I will be doing them with you. I usually take the month of January off of social media to write, but I'm not this year. I want to be around for everyone's fresh start, and so I am going to be doing the Simplicity Challenge with you in my Instagram stories. And if you would like to get a head start, you have it right here. So the Simplicity Challenge is a 30-day challenge toward achieving a more simple, more joyful life. Each task should take less than 15 minutes to complete. I wrote the Simplicity Challenge when I had infant twins at home and a 4-year-old, and was trying to write my first book in a Starbucks corner booth in my neighborhood back in Tampa. And I was procrastinating writing because I was just feeling very overwhelmed with life, and I really, really, really needed life to be simpler, so that I could be my very best. But as you know, if you've ever been in that season, having itty bitties is hard. And so I wrote out this Simplicity Challenge, and it has just been one of the most life-changing things for hundreds of thousands of women. And I hope that as you set up your planner, you'll read over each one and just kind of get your head in the space of being ready and willing to do these tasks every single day. I had someone on Instagram recently ask me, I try to do the Simplicity Challenge every year, and I just don't, hold on, let me fix the focus on my camera. I just get overwhelmed. So what do you suggest I do? And my best suggestion is if you get overwhelmed at a certain point, just press pause and repeat what you've already done. So if you pick up a trash bag, we always start our Simplicity Challenges with picking up a trash bag and a donate bag and walking your house. It just gets you in the right mindset to do the rest of it. So my best advice is to just do it over and over again. Walk your house with a trash bag 900 times if you have to, until you're ready to move on to the next thing. Don't feel like you have to do it at the pace we're going at. That's why we put it in this simplified planner, so that you could do the Simplicity Challenge whenever you like. So you have it all right here. All right. This is such a fun exercise, my yearly bucket list. So this is your bucket list for the next year. Imagine yourself sitting here on our Simplified Planner Setup Workshop for 2022, and you're looking back at your planner for 2021, and you're reflecting on the year. What are you glad you did? What are the things that you're glad you did? Now, granted, I wrote in my 2020 planner bucket list that one of my things was to go to London with Brian for his 40th birthday. We had the trip planned, and then we canceled it, obviously. So I'm not going to set out on 2021 with a goal of going to London, because I don't know if that's possible. But I am going to put some things on my bucket list that I hope our family does, that I hope I do personally. Maybe goals for work, goals personally, goals spiritually, health-related goals, any kind of goal or thing you want to say you did. Go ahead and write it here. And then I would love for you to also share some of those things in the comments, because I think we can all gather a lot of ideas from each other for this. And then don't check it off. You see you have a little check bubble. Don't check your bucket list item off until you've actually planned it, right? One of our 2021 bucket list things is to take a family trip to a local beach spot. And we actually went ahead and planned it, and so I'm going to put it in my planner and then check it off. But I would love to hear some of the things that you guys would love to do, all things considered, moving into 2021, that you are going to put in your planner. Okay. My comments are slowly catching up. I'll share a couple of more with you guys as we wait. We have an annual family vacation that we take to Lake Oconee in Georgia. That'll be one of ours. I would like to become a more confident runner. I don't want to say like a marathon runner, but I would like to become someone who runs and doesn't want to die. So that is one of mine. Paying off our car loan. Oh yes, that's awesome. Family beach vacation for my 30th. Oh, that's awesome. Taking a relaxing baby moon with my husband, completing the chronological Bible in 1 year, making a meal with my teen daughter once per week. Oh, that's awesome. That's one of mine too, cooking with Brady. He's really interested in cooking, and I would like to make that a more regular thing. Camping at state parks. Oh, so many trips that people got canceled. Career, family, intellectual, social goals for 2021. Yes, I love that. Movie night with family. Read a book a month. Yes. Y'all, I read so many books in 2020. I think I posted them to Facebook or to Instagram, and it was like 50 something, but that was only my Audible, I realized after I posted it. So I think I'm around like 70 books for the year. And that was one of my goals for 2020, was to read more. So we're going to do the book club with nonfiction books, but I'm going to fill in the gaps with some fiction books, and I'll share those with you guys too. Getting some clients for my brand new business. Awesome. Having the wedding we were supposed to have in June. Oh, that's awesome. I love these guys. Thank you for sharing them. I think it's encouraging to share these kinds of things, especially as we're looking at 2021 with different eyes. Run a 5K. It's been a while. Maybe I'll make that one of my goals, to run a 5K, even though that sounds terrifying. Okay, spend intentional time and quality scheduled time with my parents. Love that. Okay, I love these things. Thank you guys for sharing them. Again, you're going to fill out your bucket list with all those things. And then you have a few notes pages. For the notes pages, I recommend keeping any kind of list that you like to always have on you. So maybe your go-to meals for when you're meal planning. Those are the meals that your family loves, you love. They're easy to make, affordable, healthy-ish. Put those in one list and keep it in your notes pages. Another one could be like a perpetual grocery list. Those groceries that every single week you have to buy, and that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you make a grocery list. Maybe you keep track of your perpetual calendar. You could tuck it, maybe paper clip it right there into those notes pages so that you have it and aren't taking up your valuable pocket space with it. Okay. Then you have your monthly pages followed by either your daily pages or your weekly pages. Now, what I like to do when I set up my planner is put those very important birthdays and anniversaries, the dates that never change, on the monthly spreads first. So first, we're just paying attention to the monthly spreads, and also filling in those things that you want to do every single month, or you want to do a certain month of a year. For instance, some of the summer camps around here that my kids love, they start filling up in February. So I will make myself a note in February to go ahead and check those things out and see what it is we want to do during the summer. Maybe in, say, November, you can make yourself a note on your monthly spread about some holiday things you want to do. Maybe give yourself a time to sit down with your significant other and your kids and talk about some of the things you want to do during the holiday season. So taking time to map this stuff out is so valuable. In 2020, even though so much changed in 2020, I spent a good 4 hours one night. It was after the kids went to bed. I spent some time going through and writing in dates for all kinds of things. And doing that really spurred my brain and made me think like, oh, maybe I can go ahead and book, like, if I know we're going to go on vacation in the summer, maybe I can go ahead and book it now and get a better rate since I'm booking it so early. Luckily, that was a local thing and it didn't get canceled. But spending the time now to do that, it's just so purposeful. And it means that, like, a random holiday comes up and you're not totally unprepared, right? I saw someone ask about launch days. So spring launch is April 14th. These are subject to change. They shouldn't change, but I've got to caveat that. April 14th, and then fall launch is September 1st. And those blue boxes right there contain Simplified planners that y'all have never seen before. That's how far in advance we work. I already have the planners for our spring launch. I already have the samples here. Okay, so yes, you can put those dates on your calendar for our spring launch and our fall launch, including all of the fun launch week. Cover reveal will be on April 7th, and you can always count on 10 a.m. Eastern Time for all of those things. We'll also be launching book club and a podcast this year. I've not determined exactly when the podcast will launch, but I've got my eye on February-ish. So we'll see. I'm excited about that. Okay. Yay! Okay, so you're going to put the stuff on the months, and then you're going to go in and put whatever you would like on the daily and the weekly spreads. I like to take, even though it takes time, I really believe in taking the time to set up your planner, because then you're set up for the whole year. Go in, write those dates on the months and the weeks and the days. So and so's birthday. Go in and put it on the month and put it on the daily and the weekly thing. Your monthly spreads are going to be like your overarching view, right? Your bird's eye view, where you're seeing just the highlights, the most important things. It's not the nitty gritty, the day to day. That's the stuff you're going to put on your daily spreads and also on your weekly spreads as well. I'm so excited. You guys are excited about the podcast. Your comments are going crazy. I'm still working on details, but it's been on my heart for a long time. Team Simplify, I can tell you. I've thought about it and thought about it and thought about it forever. And the stars are aligning this year to give me the bandwidth to do it. It'll be the Simplified Podcast, and it will be focused on simplifying all parts of life, automation, simplifying, decluttering, all of that. And then it'll be full of a lot of random things as well, a lot of heart musings, and even some BFF chats with my friend Kristen Winchester. I've already got her signed up to do just some fun random chats with me on there as well. So anyway, it's not going to be interview based. It's going to be more like my books, I guess I could say, like a little bit more heartfelt, a little bit more well thought out, that kind of stuff. So anyway, I can't give away too much, but it will be fun. I'm excited. Okay, guys, send me your questions. It's such an individual thing to go in and put in all of your dates in your planner. So I will encourage you, if you have time after this, go ahead and take the time to write through all of those things. Get your entire planner filled out. Let me also address your any kind of color coding situation. So I have a couple of example spreads here that I will show you. You can see lots of these on our website. But this is an example monthly spread using some color coding. Some school things are highlighted in pink, and then there's washi tape showing a family vacation. This is not my actual planner. This is an example planner. And then just some different ways that we've done a daily spread. That is a weekend as well. And then just another fun monthly spread. Have fun with it. If there was ever a year to try out something new, to go crazy with fun stickers and color coding and just see like what works for you, this is it. Have fun with it. I have found that it's such a great exercise for me, especially in my professional role making these, to go through and print out some free printables from our website with the weekly spreads or the daily spreads or the monthly spreads. And you can get all of those on our website. And just like kind of have fun and try some different things and see what works, what sticks. That's how I found the whole meal planning in a weekly planner thing. It just really, really worked for me. And it actually came to be before a photo shoot when I was mocking up planners for photos that we were about to shoot. And I thought, let me just try this and see if it works. And it really worked, and it was really helpful. So give yourself the freedom and the grace and space to do those kinds of things. And I think you might find that there are just some fun ways to be discovered. Our Simplified Sisterhood Facebook group is a great place to go for that kind of thing too. If you want to see how other people are doing things or ask questions or share, it's a really positive, encouraging, supportive, wonderful corner of the internet. One of my favorite wins of 2020 is that group. It's the way that group has been cultivated and continues to just be such a beautiful part of the internet. So I hope you'll join if you're not already there. Okay. Let's see. Let me find your questions. Thank you, Hannah, for gathering all of these. If you guys have other questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Are you going to restock the sticker book? No, not the sticker book as you know it. Sorry, I had to fix the focus on this thing. The sticker book will not be restocked. Any sales going on for planners? Nope, no sales. I've heard before that you use 2 planners, one for meal prep. I want to start doing that. What planner do you use for meal planning? I use a weekly, oh, I have one right here. I use a weekly planner for, let's see if this is my actual, no, it's not. I use a meal planner, a weekly for meal planning, and here's how I do it. So my daily is my day-to-day, right? The weekly, what I do is in this section right here, I write down what's for dinner, and then over here, where you have the little check marks, I write down what I need from the grocery store or what ingredients are required. And then I can go and check my pantry, check my spices, check my fridge, and see what I have and don't need to buy, and just cross it off. So basically, you have your meal plan down these sides, and then you have your grocery list down the other. It's awesome! It really works. It really does work. And I keep it in the kitchen, and it's just makes life easier. And because I don't have all my day-to-day stuff, I'm not distracted by all of it, if that makes sense. You can find sample spreads. I saw someone ask that. You can find them in our Instagram feeds. Go through mine or go through Simplified. Then you can also find some over on our website. If you go to our video library, any of those videos, we often show example spreads, and those are really helpful. Oh, I just realized you're probably talking about the printables. Those are in the free printable library. Okay. Next questions. What's the difference between simplified planners on your site and the ones at Target? Great question. So the ones on our website are from our signature collection. The ones that you will find at some big stores like Target, Walmart, Office Depot, Staples, those are from our collaboration with At a Glance. And they are made with the same sense and sensibilities of the Simplified Planner and the Simplified brand, but they're made with different materials and different bells and whistles to meet a lower price point. We have been working with At a Glance for many years, and it is such a joy to work with them. Number one, they're good people, and they love our community, and they're just great. And number two, they have given us so many opportunities to grow our community and reach more people at different price points. So that is the difference. The ones that you will find on our website have the simplified prep work. They have the keepsake boxes. They're made with a different type of paper. So I hope that explains that a little bit. Okay. Okay. How do you gather all the laundry for each morning? Does each person have a basket and bring to laundry room, or do you go around and collect it? First of all, I love tactical questions like this. Okay. Our house has a laundry chute. When we were building our house, I literally told our builder, I want a laundry chute, and then we can build the rest of the house around that. So we have a laundry chute. And my kids' rooms are upstairs, so they put their clothes in the laundry chute. And it's kind of part of our routine when they're going to bed to pick up their room and throw whatever they need to down there that's dirty. I will bring clothes from our bedroom into the laundry room. The laundry chute is right next to the washer, so if that makes sense. And then I throw everything in together. I don't separate colors. I use Tide color catchers sometimes, but I really don't often use those anymore. I used them a ton in the past, and they work, but I just found I didn't necessarily need them all the time. So I just throw them all together. I do separate towels. We go through a lot of towels here. So I do separate out towels, but I just put colors and all that together. Now, if I have something like this dress, if something that needs to be handled with a little bit more care, I will separate it and I put it in our laundry room sink, and then I will do like a load of delicates, like at the end of the week or something. Okay. Where is your coffee mug from? I don't know. I've had this forever. Anthropology, maybe? Little One Studio. I don't remember. I've had it a long time. What is your routine with the Hatch Restore? Okay, so you might have seen me post on Instagram about the Hatch. So in October, when I was focusing a lot on self-care and nutrition and sleep and all of the above, because 2020 was catching up to me, I got a Hatch. And it's funny because Team Simplified had, especially the girls who have little babies, like swore by the Hatch. And I didn't have it because my kids are older. So I got a Hatch Restore. And it's like this little dome thingy that sits on my nightstand by my fan that plugs in. And it has a light on it. And the light, it has a couple different things. It has sound and it has light. And it's like a sunrise alarm. So you can have the light dim as you go to bed, and you have it like come on as you wake up slowly, and then you can have sleep meditations, and then you can have like white noise. So my routine with the Hatch, you can set up a routine on the Hatch app, and this is like a whole other tangent conversation, but you can set it up. What I do is this, the light at a certain time comes on, and then it gets darker, darker, darker. There's a 10-minute sleep meditation, and then white noise comes on. And I love white noise, especially with the fan and the white noise. I'm lights out. And then in the morning, about 30 minutes before my alarm comes on the Hatch, the sun rises in the Hatch. You can control it all through your app. And then I actually got some for my kids too, because, not the Restore, the other one. Oh, Hannah says my mug's from Anthropology. Hannah knows more about me than I do sometimes. Thank you, Hannah. Okay. Do you ever use washi tape? Yes, I do on the monthly spreads for vacations. I also use washi tape. I have a big yearly calendar from Ashley Profit that is on my bulletin board, and I use washi tape there for like week-long events, like vacations. Okay. Someone asked what's the code for the Hatch. If you go look at my highlights on Instagram, I think the code is over there. I don't know if it's still good, but it might be. Okay. Do you sit down with your kids to help them set goals for themselves? Yes. So, okay, I'll tell y'all what Caroline says because it was so cute. So, every, like, New Year's Day for breakfast, it's been like the past 2 years and my kids can have these conversations. We have sat down and come up with goals as a family. And we've also come up with like words for who we want our family to be that year. It's almost like our word of the year. And I've saved them. They're on our bulletin board in our kitchen, and I've just been like every year I just pin it on top of it. And so I have like a whole stack of them. But our goals for this year, for 2020, were things like get outside more often, eat more nourishing foods, try more new foods. Be a great team. I remember a couple years ago it was find a great church locally, and then I think last year another one was find a way to serve in our community. And we pin them in the kitchen, and there's just a couple, and they're not super complicated, but they're things that we work on together. And then our words are things like energetic, supportive, intentional, and then it gives us a chance to talk about what those words mean. Now, please don't get it in your head that this is like a 2-hour family meeting that my kids sit perfectly still for and are angels and we execute all these things perfectly. It does not go that way. If inevitably someone's under the table, someone wants more juice, like it's kind of a wild conversation, but eventually we get to the point where we have these things written down, and if we refer back to them enough, it becomes a thing, right? So this year, we haven't done this yet, but we did we were having dinner the other night, and Caroline says to me, Mom, when are we going to set our goals for the year? And I was like, oh, well, we'll do it probably on New Year's Day, like we usually do. And I said, why? Do you have one? And she says, yes, I want to be a model. And I was like, what? And first of all, in my head, I'm thinking, way to go, Emily. Like, you've ruined your child somehow. She's 5 and wants to, like, that's her life goal. That's her, not that being a model is a bad thing, but that's, like, the first thing she thinks of for her year. And I'm like, a model? What does that mean? And she says, like a model for others. And I was like, oh, a role model. And she was like, yes, Mom, a role model. She wants to be a role model. That was her thing. That's her goal for the year, is to be a good role model. All right. So sweet. Anyway, I thought that was precious and adorable. But yes, that is how we do our goals. All right. When do you make time to read? I know you listen a ton to audiobooks, but do you sit down to read? Yes, so I love audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks like all the time, especially when I'm cleaning, especially when I'm driving, and also at night. Sometimes when I'm falling asleep, I'll play an audiobook, and there's like a self-timer where it can turn itself off. I have made it a bigger goal to read physical books because I think there's value in that, especially books that have journaling spaces and things like my books do. And so I actually went to a local bookstore right before Christmas and bought a couple of books to read over this Christmas break. And so I've been reading a couple of them. It's a little harder to find time to like sit down and read because that is usually time when my kids are awake. And as we all know, they will end up right on top of you. Okay. Do you love the Bear Beat? Is it worth the investment? Yes. and they don't have coupon codes. Everyone always asks me. Bearby does not do coupon codes for whatever reason, but yes, I have a Bearby. It's a 15-pound cotton napper. I first heard about it from Whit on our team, Whitney. She had one. It is the very best. Like, if I'm not getting fantastic sleep in 2021, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, because between the Hatch, my new plug-in fan, and the Bearby, I have everything I ever needed. The Bearby is a weighted blanket, and it is not the kind of blanket you would sit on the couch with, me personally, because it gets cold. It has holes because it's like knitted, and so it's really breathable. So it's not like a warm blanket, but it's heavy. And I put it on top of the covers, and I actually got Brian one for Christmas, and he swore he wasn't going to like it, and he loves it. He had a different kind of weighted blanket, but I got him the Bearby one, and now he's obsessed. So I found that it's very helpful in falling asleep and staying asleep, and it's also really helpful if you're the kind of person who lays down, closes their eyes, and their brain spins and spins and spins like me. A weighted blanket has been really helpful for that, and our kids actually have them now too. They make nappers for naplings for kids, and so one of our kiddos is a little bit anxious, and it helps a lot. So, okay, Bearby is Bearaby for anyone who's trying to look it up. Okay, I think I got to all your questions. My top is actually a dress. Can you see it? It's from Tucker Duck. It's very comfortable. Yes, it's from Tucker Duck. Someone said audiobooks have saved me on the Garcon Bridge. Hi, Lydia. Oh, Pensacola problems. Okay. All right, guys. This was so fun. I hope I got to all of your questions. I promise I will put in the links to the camera stuff that you guys are asking about in the comments. This is a long one, but I really I love doing these workshops with you, because I think it's so important to take the time to sit down, pour a cup of coffee, and really dig into your planner so that you can get the most out of it in the new year. Take the time to write all your dates in. Take the time to text your friends, find out their birthdays, their kids' birthdays, and really spend some good time with that prep work. I also think it's valuable to not just do the prep work, but talk through it with anyone that needs to be talked through it with, a significant other or whomever. I think it's really helpful to just be on the same page, have your sights set on the same goals, and to spend some time thinking about the woman you want to be in 2021. That has been such a freeing exercise for me to do on the tail end of such a wacky year, to just think about who I want to be in the new year, especially as you set up your planner. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks for your excitement about all the things. 2021 is going to be a fantastic year for Simplified. I just feel it in my bones. We have so many fun things we're working on, and we are even more intentional this year about being our very best, most authentic selves, and having space for all of these conversations. And also, I think it's just so important to be in community with all that's going on in the world. So thank you guys for being here. This is so fun. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and after this, I will try to come back and answer some later. Okie doke.